I don't need an analgesic, I am not in pain. Bring me a ritual, a tribal game. Moonlight on the water, shadows on my mind. Tell me something nobody knows. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Rig for heavy weather, strange but not to fear. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Thunder, clap, and lightning, then the sky will clear. I don't need an anesthetic, I am not afraid. Traditional, agricultural, just roll and flame. Moonlight on the wind, shadows on my mind. Show me something everybody knows. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Rig for heavy weather, strange but not to fear. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Thunder, clap, and lightning, then the sky will clear. Inside a golden light, outside a storm, an alcoholic blessing is mixed at best. If you want to find an answer, look up high. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Rig for heavy weather, strange but not to fear. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Thunder, clap, and lightning, then the sky will clear. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Rig for heavy weather, strange but not to fear. It's 4:20 somewhere, might as well be here. Thunder, clap, and lightning, then the sky will clear. Thunder, clap, and lightning, then the sky will clear. Well, that's right. It's 4:20 Saturday, which means it's time for a Saturday stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second edition of the Saturday streams. It is definitely a different environment, right? It feels different. We're hearing about different things. We're exploring a little bit. In my case, a very little bit, but not zero. And I hope the same is true with all of you. I'm returning to the program I started last week, which is running through what I think are at least my favorite songs are the ones I wrote, and playing them in the order I wrote them. And I must confess that I'm not absolutely certain when I wrote all these songs. So some may not be in the perfect order, but they're all kind of roughly where they ought to be. And what's really interesting is that when you lay them out this way, there is kind of an interesting tale. It's not the tale that the lyrics tell. It's the tale of, me trying to figure out how to be a songwriter. And early on there were some, last time there were some songs that were good enough to stick. Today's set, there are more of those, but there are also just a lot more songs, so not as much time to play them. So some don't get played as much as as much as I wish they did. This is one of them. Some will climb a mountain, search of what is real. Few will find an answer, swear that it's ideal. But then there are the angry ones who cannot hear. A few will turn to violence, blanket us with fear. Is someone looking out for me, or are there UFOs? Everybody has an opinion, but nobody knows. Some who own glass houses throw stones while they shout. They preach a lot to others, often wrong but not in doubt. Is someone looking out for me, or are there UFOs? Everybody has an opinion, but nobody knows. What you believe and I believe may not be the same. Some accentuate our differences in order to inflame what you believe and I believe. Pebbles in the game. When we wake up in the morning, we're all the same. Is someone looking out for me, or are there UFOs? Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but nobody knows. So I had a very interesting week in a lot of ways. Some really big highlights, some not so highlights. But one of the real highlights was one of our fans, Emily Brister, sent me this spreadsheet where she had done a count, how often we had played each song. And the results were striking. Not at all what I would have thought for my solo shows. You know, we could probably do a quiz, and you guys could all write down in the chat what you think the song is that I played the most in the solo shows. So, in the duo shows, number one is shouldn't be a surprise. It's two of us. You know, that was the first song. We played it more than anything else. In the larger version, so trio, quartet, quintet, there's a tie. Also probably not super surprising, which is Honest Hour and what's the other one? Toys in the Attic. That's what the other one is. Toys in the Attic. So it's those aren't shocks to me. And when you look at the top 5 of the top 10 for the duo and for the larger versions of the band, the songs are exactly what you expect. And they're all tightly clustered. There's nothing that really sticks out. Nothing's got more than a 1 or 2 play lead. In my personal sets, it really surprised me. It was not what I was expecting at all. And, in my head, I thought, there's a bunch of songs I've really played a lot. And it turns out not as much. So actually, one of the things that's cool about this set starts, I think, in either the very end of 2007 or the very beginning of 2008, which is to say, as Moon Alice's beginning. So these are all songs from the Moon Alice era, but they're pretty tightly compressed. I'll go a long way before I get to 2010. And this was a period where I wrote a lot of songs. Up in the clouds is where my heart soars when I think of you. Beyond the reach of nightmares that often make me blue. The first to see the sunrise, the last to see it set. My life is just my love for you, and my love for you has no regret. Up in the clouds where all your angels live is where I want to go. Arm in arm with you, my love, our love is all I know. Tell me that you want me, tell me I'm okay. And when you dream of me through the night until you wake each day. Up in the clouds, say it out loud. Won't you say I love you? Up in the clouds is where my head must go when I start each day, trying to find some answers for the riddles that you say. Anything I can do, I would do for you. Tell me what you want, my love. What you want is what I'll do. Don't you try to tell me that you don't understand feelings that I have for you that make me who I am. Don't you try to tell me I'm not the man for you. That would only break my heart, only break my heart in two. Up in the clouds, say it out loud. Won't you say I love you? Up in the clouds, say it out loud. Won't you say up in the clouds, say it out loud. Won't you say up in the clouds, say it out loud. Won't you say I love you?
So this is a period where most of my songs were, I was trying to write little novels, tell a story, something dramatic, something surprising. This song was a really overt attempt to do that. To write a song that worked like, one of those songs where you think it's about one thing and it's really about something else. That's what I tried to do.
Sunlight through a hotel window, marina swaying wide, center swells and harbor smells, afternoon and night. Voices from the cafe tables soundtrack for their love. She dreamed he'd be a memory soon. He dreamed she'd be his wife. He said, I think you're lovely. He said, you always go. He said, you threw me like no other, and forevermore. He said, you take my breath away. You're perfect, this I know. In his head she said, I'm glad you think so. Twilight turns to evening, evening turns to night. Heartbeat slows and traffic flows, artificial light. Voices from the street below, voices in his head. From a dream she stood before him, this is what he said. He said, I think you're lovely. He said, you always glow. He said, you threw me like no other, and forevermore. Said, you take my breath away. You're perfect, this I know. She turned to him and said, I'm glad you think so. She said, I'm glad you think that I'm perfect as can be. I only wish I saw in you the things you see in me. With that she turned and left him standing by the door. And as she disappeared he cried an echo forevermore. He said, you know you're lovely, you know you always glow. You know you threw me like no other, and forevermore. You know you take my breath away. You're perfect, this I know. And in his head she said, I'm glad you think so. In his head she said, I'm glad you think so. In his head she said, I'm glad you think so.
So this next one is out of order, and I have no excuse. I'm just seeing by looking at this out of order. I wrote it in 2004, so it should have come in last week's set. But you know what? What the hell? This is for Ann.
Through your eyes, see the sunrise, a newborn soul so flush with possibilities. Trust and love and innocence, so much time, so little ambiguity. In your eyes, the morning light awakens youthful challenge to authority. I know eyes I love you all day long. I know, I know. In your eyes, the day flows by. Some of choices made and serendipity. Deep inside you radiate courage, honor, joy, and generosity. In your eyes, the sunset smile. Have no fear, I'm yours in perpetuity. I know. You're a window on your soul. All day long I see you. All day long I love you. All day long I know, I know. Window or mirror, two in love are one. I find on the pleasure, the fortress of love. Window or mirror, nowhere to hide. All day long I know. A window on your soul. All day long I see you. All day long I love you. All day long I know. I know. Tentacles of darkness squeeze out the light. Shadows cannot hold their picket line. From every nook and cranny, jagged shards of glass, ready to waste with undue haste and undefended mind. But what can you do But what can you do? Sparks, waves, and lightning jump across the sky, distorting all the objects in your view. From every nook and cranny, kaleidoscope and swirls, nothing you see can possibly be such a funky shade of blue. But what can you do? But what can you do? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You say something good is bound to come along. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but to me it looks like an oncoming train. Yes, it looks like an oncoming train. Pressure, pressure, building by degrees, crushing peace of mind like the dust beneath your feet. From every nook and cranny, dagger set to fall, ready to shred and leave for dead the hope of true relief. What can you do? What can you do? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You say something good is bound to come along. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but to me it looks like an oncoming train. Yes, it looks like an oncoming train. Yes, it looks like an oncoming train. Yes, it looks like an oncoming train.
So I think that one, the last two songs were written about the same time, and a couple years before these right here. I think that last one was from 2005. I had a headache that lasted for a really long time, and that's when it started. And that's what the song refers to. Tunnel 64 was the 64th day of that headache. That's when I thought 64 days was a lot. It went on for 2 years. Eventually, I went all Buddhist on the thing and basically treated it like it was, a family member. Not necessarily your first choice, but unavoidable. And to be clear, I'm not speaking about my family, but it gives you the idea I'm talking about because everybody at least is aware of the concept. I got a request, again, to find out sort of what am I thinking relative to doing a book about the Shelter-in-Place tour. Well, once I asked the question, people started volunteering amazing stuff. So it's going to take a little longer than I hope, but I think it's also going to be a million times better. If you have things that you think would contribute to revealing what that experience was like, please get in touch, either through Gail or if you know how to reach me, come to me directly. And share what you have, okay? Because I'm going to take the time to try to digest it and turn it into something really fun, because it was an amazing experience. And, to go through it from our side was amazing. And the fact that it meant something to all of you is really special. So, yeah, we're going to do something about it. But I would love to have your help. And if you want to be part of it, please, this is the time. So imagine we're trying to get the timeline right. So, if you got to we don't need everything. I mean, if you say, look, the one day I really remember was this one, and this is why. That'd be cool to know.
Me and Pat were hanging on a bench outside the gig, sipping feisty Java as the street lights played a jig. Road is smoking stories, passing to and fro. This show won't be over till the fat lady does some blow. We're old school, baby. We're old school all the way. But when the sun goes neath the horizon, you know we'll take the stage and play. Well, me and Pat were driving to find a post-show meal, hoping for some Turkish. It's not a real big deal. We finally stopped at Denny's for coffee and a pie. Tasted just like yesterday, and we can tell you why. We're old school, baby. We're old school all the way. But when the sun goes neath the horizon, you know we'll hit the stage and play. Well, me and Pat was singing like a couple cats in heat. We hoped to find a kitty whose looks we couldn't beat. We thought we'd finally found her. It wasn't really true. She was choking on a hairball and gagged her sheet in blue. 'Cause we're old school, baby. We're old school all the way. 'Cause when the sun goes neath the horizon, you know we'll hit the stage and play. Well, me and Pat are looking to find a brand new gig. We're in it for the money. We hope the money's big. But then the man came down on us. Why, he wouldn't say. He just stood and glared at us until we start to play. We're old school, baby. We're old school all the way. But when the sun goes neath the horizon, you know we'll hit the stage and play. But when the sun goes neath the horizon, you know we'll hit the stage and play.
So that song is called Me and Pat. And that is an historical song because while every aspect of it is fictionalized, it is in the spirit of two people who were part of the very beginning of Moonhouse. Namely, our road manager, Pat Morrow, and the one and only G.E. Smith. And the two of them, they were like blood brothers and inseparable. They enjoyed each other's company. And, you know, they brought old school vibe to everything we did. And entertaining as all hell and deserving of a song. That, I believe, is the first time I've ever played that song in public. And I haven't even thought about it for at least 10 years. And so it was fun the last few days just to think about it and go, yeah, why not? I mean, you know, hopefully we're only in quarantine once, right? I hope that's true anyway. Problem with doing them sequentially is that there's no way to organize the capos for efficiency.
Darkness fell so slowly, it caught us unaware, like a frog in water, warming to a boil. From bad to worse, and then beyond, every beauty spoiled. Black as night, bled by midnight oil. Divide and conquer was their game, fear the favorite too. Boogeyman coming after you. Truth in it, outrageous lies, problem for the fool. Just like history books we read in school. Daylight came on Tuesday, the first light clears the air. The madness would not end, finally does. Leave your fears behind, find someone to love. We can start to dream again because it's daylight. Daylight casts its shadows, none compares with night. Daylight freshens every living thing. Cool breeze from the meadow, blindness turns to sight. Winter turns to spring, the sun shines bright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somewhere, somehow, someone always tries to take control, preying on the weak and timid mind. There are few abiding rules, let's try not to forget them. No one can keep us down if we don't let them. Daylight came on Tuesday, the first light clears the air. The madness would not end, finally does. Leave your fears behind, find someone to love. We can start to dream again because it's daylight.
So that song was obviously written, you know, within days of the presidential election of 2008. This next one was written early the following year, when it became incredibly clear that the Obama administration was going to, well, wasn't going to prosecute the banks for the 2008 financial crash, which they caused. And I was disappointed, as I so frequently am. And so I wrote this.
Well, I've been out of work since the plant shut down. They shipped the jobs to China, left behind downtown, tumbleweed rolling through. It feels like we've all been screwed. Every day's a struggle, but we get by. They took everything we had, but we don't cry. We can't afford to drink, but we still get high. Living the American dream. Politicians say in banks we trust. They gave them all the money that once belonged to us in the name of red, white, and blue. It feels like we've all been screwed. Every day's a struggle, but we get by. They took everything we had, but we don't cry. We can't afford to drink, but we still get high, living the American dream. We used to have insurance and a steady job. A banker bought the business with intent to rob. It closed all the factories, shuttered every stall. Thousands out of work makes his stock worth more. Debt and unemployment, we got up the wazoo. Change we can't believe in is long overdue. It's past time to sing the blues. It feels like we've all been screwed. I mean, really, you know what I mean? Wow. Every day's a struggle, but we get by. They took everything we had, but we don't cry. We can't afford to drink, but we still get high, living the American dream. Every day's a struggle, but we get by. They took everything we had, but we don't cry. We can't afford to drink, but we still get high, living the American dream. Living the American dream. Living the American dream.
Yeah, I'll never forget, Obama had a chief of staff by the name of Rahm Emanuel, who then went on to be the mayor of Chicago. And he had this line, he said when they got elected, right, never waste a good crisis. That is, he viewed the financial crisis as an opportunity to define President Obama's presidency in a really positive way. And in many ways it did define his presidency, but not in a positive way. What they did was, it wasn't just they didn't do enough, they didn't do the right things. And there was no accountability for what was, we basically socialized the failures of people who were, playing with fire, which was an insane thing to do. Anyway, this next song is about baseball, sort of. Excuse me.
Well, I'm standing off the reservation, leaving here on the tide. It may be rough like a roller coaster, but I'm tall enough to take the ride, yes indeed. Hurricanes in the morning, volcanoes in the afternoon. Wall Street scams run all day long, they'll take everything real soon. That's why I'm sailing off the reservation, leaving here on the tide. Maybe rough like a roller coaster, but I'm tall enough to take the ride, yes indeed. Money rules in Washington, crazies rule the news. We better change those rules right now before the bad guys turn the screws. That's why we're sailing off the reservation, leaving here on the tide. It may be rough like a roller coaster, but I'm tall enough to take the ride, yes indeed. Are you tall enough tall enough to take the ride? Are you high enough? High enough to take the ride with me? When it goes to hell, it goes real fast. To fix things will take time. To boldly go where none before have dared to walk the line. Are you tall enough? Tall enough to take the ride? Are you high enough? High enough to take the ride? Are you tall enough? Tall enough to take the ride? Are you high enough? High enough to take the ride for me? Tide rolls in, waves crash upon the beach. Thoughts of you just beyond my reach. Lost at sea, no compass, chart, or course to set. All alone, without a home, without a net. Lost at sea is where I'll be if you won't let me join your team. Lost at sea endlessly, but I will not give up my dream of you. Tide rolls out, flipping fun and full of doubt. Thoughts of me struggling with no way out. Lost at sea, spinning, twisting helplessly. All I have is worthless unless you're with me. Lost at sea is where I'll be if you won't let me join your team. Lost at sea endlessly, but I will not give up my dream of you. I pray your love will set me free. I'd give everything if you'd talk to me. I know our lives will never be the same. You don't even know my name. The tide rolls out, left behind and full of doubt. Thoughts of me struggling with no way out. Lost at sea, spinning, twisting helplessly. All I have is worthless unless you're with me. Lost at sea is where I'll be if you won't let me join your team. Lost at sea endlessly, but I will not give up my dream. I will not give up my dream. I will not give up my dream of you.
That was another one of my novels. It's, when you're learning songwriting, the ones you let out of a cage, they kind of run around. There's nothing you can do about them. So, once you play them for people or once you put it on tape, you lose control. Songs take on whatever interpretation people want to give them. This next one, though, which is going to be the final one in today's set, is one that I wrote when one of my business partners from Elevation got a horrible cancer, and it killed him. And, it was just, he was too young. He had too much wonderful stuff in front of him, and it made me just incredibly sad. And I wrote this song and recorded it on my iPhone. And I can't remember why, but I couldn't go to the memorial service. And so they played the recording at the memorial service. And I remained, Ann and I remained very close to the wife of the man who died, the widow. And she's this wonderful, wonderful person. And to this day, I have trouble playing it for her because it's too emotional for everybody. But I'm going to play it now because it's just, of all the songs I've written, it's one of the ones that I'm most proud of. And of the original songs I wrote, it was the first one of mine that Jason wanted to play. And that made me really happy.
Sun came up this morning, caught me by surprise. Another question answered, hungry baby cries. The city lights still shimmer as traffic weaves its way. Life goes on but not the same, it's different today. In my mind you'll always be a young man finding gold. In every situation your warmth would melt the cold. I tried to share my greatest gift to put your mind at ease, but worry that I may have missed the forest and the trees. Let your burdens disappear, let the door swing closed. No more struggle, no more fear, triangle of repose. The sun came up this morning, stillness in the air. Another unanswered question, the hungry truth laid bare. Your lighthouse fire guides me here from far away. Your melodies inspire me when emotions fray. Let your burdens disappear, let the door swing closed. No more struggle, no more fear at your angle of repose. If the sun comes up tomorrow, will I be there all day? Another puzzle fragment, another game to play. My wattage isn't epic, but hear me when I say, I hope in time to shine as bright as you shine today. Let your burdens disappear, let the door swing closed. No more struggle, no more fear, to wrangle of repose. Let your burdens disappear, let the door swing closed. No more struggle, no more fear, to wrangle of repose. At your angle of repose. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me just remind you that next weekend, on the 30th, which is Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, Full Moon Alice is going to be playing a live stream. It's free on the Relics channel on Twitch. So I think it's twitch.com/relics. But you can go to our Facebook page, and I'll put something up on our web page also to direct you to the right place. And it'll be an amazingly fun thing for us. We're renting out a concert hall that's currently being restored, and so it apparently looks amazing, but they can't open yet, but they can let us do this because there's no audience, and we can use a light show, and it'll be high production values. I think we're going to have a ball. So we're going to rehearse like crazy this weekend to be able to put on our best possible show. We hope you'll enjoy that, because that in many ways is kind of the next step, right? It's, it's in a venue, it's a real light show, it's a real PA, and I hope it sounds amazing. I hope we play great, and I hope you'll join us again. That's Sunday the 30th of May, and it'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time on the Relics channel on Twitch. So I think that's twitch.com/relics. And I hope you have a lovely week between now and then. Have a great weekend, and be safe. Remember that getting a vaccine protects you. It protects everybody else, but it's not perfect. At least it won't be until everybody's had one. So be careful, particularly when you're in groups. And just know that from all of us to all of you, we appreciate your support. And we really look forward to getting together and playing live concerts in real venues sometime this summer. It'll happen by August for sure. I don't know if anything will happen before that, but quite a few things are going to happen in August. Take care. Bye-bye.